The Aflac data breach is a sharp reminder that the moment customers trust you with sensitive information, cybersecurity becomes a business leadership issue, not just an IT task. If an insurer with mature operations can face this kind of exposure, any company handling personal, financial, or health-related data needs to ask how prepared it really is. What Aflac disclosed was serious. The company said it detected suspicious activity tied to a cyber incident affecting parts of its US network. Reports around the breach pointed to social engineering tactics, which usually means attackers manipulated people, not just systems, to get the access they wanted. That matters because social engineering can bypass expensive security tools if an employee is tricked into clicking, sharing credentials, or trusting the wrong request. The information potentially put at risk reportedly included personal details, claims information, health information, social security numbers, and other data criminals can exploit for fraud or identity theft. When news of a breach breaks, customers don't think first about forensic details. They think, is my data safe, and what happens to me now? That fear can spread fast, especially when the exposed information touches health, identity, or financial records. Suddenly, the issue is personal for every affected customer. At the same time, the company is dealing with disruption behind the scenes. Systems may need to be isolated, teams rerouted, investigations launched, and normal work slowed down. The reputational cost can last much longer than the technical cleanup. Trust takes years to build, and only one public incident to weaken. And leadership comes under immediate pressure from customers, employees, regulators, partners, and the board to explain what happened and prove the response is under control. Here's the bigger lesson. A lot of damaging cyber incidents don't start with advanced code. They start with a person being deceived. Social engineering works because it targets normal human behavior. People want to be helpful, responsive, and fast. Attackers know that and design pressure around it. That's why awareness training can't be a once-a-year compliance exercise. Employees need realistic practice spotting urgency, impersonation, and requests that feel just a little off. Verification processes matter just as much. When someone requests sensitive access, payment changes, or confidential data, staff need a clear second step to confirm the request is real. And culture is what makes those steps stick. If speed is rewarded but caution is ignored, people will skip checks even when they know better. The strongest companies make secure behavior normal. They give employees permission to pause, verify, and challenge unusual requests without fear of slowing things down. So what should companies do now? Start with access controls, limit who can reach sensitive systems, enforce multi-factor authentication, and review privileged accounts regularly. Next, make training continuous and role-based. Finance, HR, customer support, and IT all face different social engineering risks, so they shouldn't all get the same examples. Then prepare for the day something goes wrong. A tested incident response plan helps teams know who decides, who communicates, and what gets locked down first. You also need stronger visibility. Monitor systems for unusual behavior, investigate alerts quickly, and make sure logging is good enough to reconstruct what happened. Protect the data itself as well. Classify sensitive information, reduce unnecessary retention, and encrypt critical data so one intrusion doesn't expose everything at once. For smaller businesses, the goal isn't perfection. It's building layers that make attacks harder, detection faster, and recovery far less chaotic. After a breach, trust is affected long after the headlines fade. Customers watch how clearly, how honestly, and how quickly a company responds. Transparent communication matters because silence creates its own damage. People want timely updates, plain language, and direct guidance on what they should do next. Support matters too. Credit monitoring, responsive help channels, and clear remediation steps can reduce confusion and show customers they're not facing the fallout alone. Recovery also means fixing root causes, not just closing the immediate incident. Leaders have to show that lessons were learned and controls were strengthened. That's how credibility is rebuilt, not with promises, but with visible action over time. The Aflac breach underscores a simple reality. Cybersecurity isn't a one-time project. It's an ongoing responsibility tied directly to trust, resilience, and business performance. The organizations that respond best to cyber risk are usually the ones that prepared before the crisis, trained for human error, and treated sensitive data like the asset it is. You don't get to choose whether attackers will test your defenses. You do get to choose whether your people, processes, and systems are ready when they do. Act before an incident forces the lesson. Compute abilities can be a helpful cybersecurity resource.